Welcome to the 167th episode of the Bovine Podcast, where we're not afraid to tackle the tough issues in dairy farming.
I'm your host, Bella, and today we're diving into a topic that's often overlooked but crucial for every dairy farmer out there: romance on the farm. Folks, let's face it, dairy farming is a demanding profession. We're up before dawn, working through scorching summers and freezing winters, and often burning the midnight oil during calving season. But amidst the chaos of farm life, there's a beautiful story unfolding, a love story, written in the steady rhythm of milk parlors across America's heartland. Today, we're going to explore how farming couples keep the flame alive, despite the challenges of early milkings, late-night calvings, and everything in between. We'll be sharing 8 creative Valentine's Day ideas that go beyond the typical dinner date, ideas that embrace the unique lifestyle of dairy farmers. Joining me is our resident expert, Douglas, who's been studying the intricate dance of love and labor on dairy farms for over 2 decades. Douglas, are you ready to show our listeners that love can bloom even in the midst of manure pits and feedlots?
Always ready, Bella. You know, there's something magical about a partnership forged in the fires of farm life. Whether you're newlyweds still figuring out your routines, or you've been married for decades, working side by side in the barn where your story began, this Valentine's Day is a chance to celebrate that unique bond.
Absolutely, Douglas. And I hear you've got some research backing up the importance of these shared experiences on the farm.
That's right, Bella. Studies have shown that couples who tackle farm tasks together report significantly higher relationship satisfaction. There's even a physiological basis for this. The release of oxytocin during shared activities creates what researchers call neurological synchronization between partners.
Fascinating stuff, Douglas. We'll dive deeper into that science and share those creative Valentine's ideas in just a moment. But first, let's remind our listeners why this topic is so crucial. In an industry where stress is high and margins are often tight, nurturing our relationships isn't just about romance. It's about creating a strong foundation for our farms and our futures. So stay tuned, bovine listeners. Whether you're milking 50 cows or 5,000, we've got tips to help you keep the love alive on your dairy farm. After all, the sweetest rewards in this business aren't just in the bulk tank, they're in the hearts we nurture along the way. All right, Douglas, let's get real. Dairy farming is demanding as hell. How on earth are farmers supposed to find time for romance when they're knee-deep in manure and up to their eyeballs in feed bills?
You're hitting the nail on the head, Bella. The challenges dairy farmers face are unique and intense. We're talking about 365 days a year of commitment, often starting before dawn and ending long after sunset. There's no clocking out, no weekends off, and certainly no guarantee of a romantic Valentine's Day dinner at a fancy restaurant. But here's the thing. Prioritizing your relationship is just as important as maintaining your equipment or checking herd health. It's not an extra. It's essential to the long-term success of both your farm and your family. Farm family coach Elaine Froese puts it bluntly: marriage on the farm only works if you make it a priority. She's not sugarcoating it, and neither should we. Your mindset and attitude towards your spouse will influence every aspect of your behavior, and ultimately, the health of your relationship.
That's a powerful statement, Douglas. But let's dig deeper. What are some of the specific challenges dairy farming couples face when it comes to maintaining their relationships?
You're hitting the nail on the head, Bella. The challenges dairy farmers face are unique and intense. We're talking about 365 days a year of commitment, often starting before dawn and ending long after sunset. There's no clocking out, no weekends off, and certainly no guarantee of a romantic Valentine's Day dinner at a fancy restaurant. But here's the thing. Prioritizing your relationship is just as important as maintaining your equipment or checking herd health. It's not an extra. It's essential to the long-term success of both your farm and your family. Farm family coach Elaine Froese puts it bluntly: marriage on the farm only works if you make it a priority. She's not sugarcoating it, and neither should we. Your mindset and attitude towards your spouse will influence every aspect of your behavior, and ultimately, the health of your relationship.
That's a powerful statement, Douglas. But let's dig deeper. What are some of the specific challenges dairy farming couples face when it comes to maintaining their relationships?
Great question, Bella. First, there's the sheer physical exhaustion. When you're up at 4 a.m. for milking, spending all day managing crops, animals, and finances, and then possibly up again for a late-night check on a calving heifer, finding energy for romance can seem impossible. Then there's the financial stress. Fluctuating milk prices, rising feed costs, and the constant pressure to modernize equipment can put a strain on even the strongest partnerships. Add to that the lack of privacy. Many dairy farmers live and work on the same property, often with extended family involved in the operation. It can be hard to switch from business partners to romantic partners when you're always in work mode.
I can see how that would be tough. So, how do successful farming couples overcome these challenges?
It's about a mindset shift, Bella. Successful couples learn to see their shared work as an opportunity for connection, not just a series of tasks to be completed. Research shows that couples who work together on farm tasks have a 30% increase in relationship satisfaction. It's not about grand gestures or expensive dates. It's about appreciating those shared moments in the parlor or during chores. It's finding joy in working towards a common goal, celebrating small victories together, and supporting each other through the inevitable setbacks.
That's fascinating, Douglas. It sounds like dairy farmers have a unique opportunity to build strong relationships through their daily work. But how do they actually make that happen when they're exhausted and, let's be honest, probably smell like cow?
Ah, the ever-present eau de bovine. You're right, it's not always glamorous, but that's where creativity and intentionality come in. It's about finding moments in your daily routine to connect. Maybe it's sharing a thermos of coffee during the morning milking, or taking a moment to watch the sunset together after evening chores. Some couples I've worked with make a point of having a weekly date night. Even if it's just 30 minutes of uninterrupted conversation after the kids are in bed. Others use their shared passion for their herd as a bonding experience, discussing breeding decisions or celebrating improvements in milk quality together. The key is to make these moments of connection a priority, just like you prioritize other aspects of farm management. It might feel awkward or forced at first, but like any good habit, it gets easier and more natural with practice.
That's really insightful, Douglas. It sounds like successful dairy farming couples find ways to intertwine their love for each other with their love for the land and their animals. Any final thoughts on this unique challenge?
Absolutely, Bella. I want to emphasize that while the challenges are real, the rewards of nurturing your relationship on a dairy farm can be extraordinary. There's a depth of partnership that comes from facing the ups and downs of farm life together, a shared sense of purpose and accomplishment that's hard to find in other professions. So to all our listeners out there, yes, it's tough. Yes, you're tired. And yes, you probably do smell like cow more often than not. But don't let that stop you from investing in your relationship. Your partnership is the bedrock of your farm's success. Nurture it with the same care and attention you give to your land and your herd, and watch how it flourishes.
All right, Romeo, give us some concrete ideas. How can our listeners turn their farms into love nests this Valentine's Day?
I've got 8 ideas that'll make even the most hardened farmer's heart melt. These aren't your typical dinner and a movie dates. They're tailored specifically for the unique lifestyle and resources of dairy farmers. 1. Moonlit milking dates. Let's start with transforming your evening milking into a romantic experience. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can milking possibly be romantic? But hear me out. Set up some battery-operated LED lights around the parlor, following all proper electrical safety protocols, of course. Create a playlist of your favorite songs, maybe the ones that were popular when you first met. Share a thermos of coffee made with your fresh milk. Use those quiet moments between cows to really talk and connect. 2. Pasture picnics. As the sun sets, pack up some of your farm-fresh products and enjoy a picnic with a view of your grazing herd. Choose a spot where you can see your favorite pasture. Bring comfortable blankets that can handle farm terrain. Time it with sunset or sunrise for extra atmosphere. Include seasonal touches from your farm, maybe some fresh flowers in spring or pumpkins in fall. Tractor rides for two. Take a sunset ride through your fields. The humble tractor, your steadfast companion through countless harvests, can become a chariot of love. Pack some blankets and hot drinks made with your fresh milk. Plan your route to include spots that are meaningful to your farm's history or your relationship. Use this time to really talk about your dreams for the farm, your family, your future. Clear out a space in the barn, string up some lights, and dance the night away to a mix of country classics and modern love songs. This isn't just fun, it connects you to a rich agricultural heritage. Barn dances have been bringing farming communities together since the 1860s.
Hold up, Douglas. Are you seriously suggesting farmers should dance in their barns? What about biosecurity?
Bella, that's exactly the kind of thinking we need to challenge. With proper cleaning and precautions, there's no reason you can't use your own damn barn for something other than work once in a while. Remember, we're talking about your own barn, not bringing in outside livestock. Clean thoroughly, lay down some temporary flooring if you're concerned, and make sure you have good ventilation. This is about reclaiming your space and seeing it through new eyes.
Fair enough. What else you got?
5. Stargazing and s'mores. Set up a cozy spot outside to watch the stars and enjoy some treats made with your own dairy products. There's something magical about a dairy barn transformed by twinkling lights and the sweet scent of fresh hay. When the evening milking is done and the cows are contentedly chewing their cud, take some time to appreciate the night sky together. Make s'mores using your own butter and milk in the hot chocolate. 6. This one's all about finding ways to say I love you in the everyday moments of farm life. Hide little notes of appreciation in work gloves, on the milk production whiteboard, or in coverall pockets. Write a message on their coffee thermos with a washable marker. Place a note where they store their favorite tools. These written expressions of love can serve as powerful emotional anchors, especially during stressful times on the farm. 7. Couples cow pampering. Spend time together grooming your favorite cows. It's not just about romance, it's about sharing your passion for your animals. Start with gentle brushing to remove loose hair and dirt. Focus on their favorite spots, like the upper back and neck. Ensure a calm, low-stress environment. Observe the cow's body language for signs of contentment. This isn't just good for your relationship, it's beneficial for the cows too. Studies show that positive interactions can reduce stress for both animals and caretakers. 8. Dairylicious dinner for two. Create a romantic meal using your own farm-fresh ingredients. Set up a dining area right in the barn for a truly unique experience. Start with a cheese board featuring your aged cheddars and fresh curds. Craft a creamy pasta sauce using that morning's milk. Create decadent desserts with your farm's cream and butter. Use mason jar candle holders for lighting and hay bales for rustic seating. Remember, these ideas aren't about grand gestures or expensive outings. They're about creating meaningful connections using the unique resources of your farm. They're about seeing your daily environment, the barn, the fields, the animals, through new eyes. And most importantly, they're about celebrating the partnership that's at the heart of your farm's success.
Those are some creative ideas, Douglas. I love how they really embrace farm life instead of trying to escape it. Any final thoughts for our listeners as they plan their farm-style Valentine's Day?
Absolutely, Bella. The key here is to adapt these ideas to your own farm and relationship. Every farm is unique, and so is every partnership. The most important thing is to make time for each other, to see your shared work as an opportunity for connection, and to celebrate the love that's grown alongside your crops and your herd. And remember, safety first. Whether you're setting up lights in the barn or taking a tractor ride, make sure you're following all proper safety protocols. Romance is great, but we want you around for many Valentine's days to come.
These all sound great, Douglas, but let's get real. How do farmers actually make this work during peak calving season or when they're dealing with a sick herd?
You're hitting on a crucial point, Bella. The reality of dairy farming doesn't always align with romantic ideals. Let's break this down and get brutally honest about the challenges. First, let's talk about the relentless nature of dairy farming. We're dealing with living, breathing animals that need care 365 days a year, often multiple times a day. There's no such thing as a day off, especially during peak seasons like calving. Then there's the unpredictability. A sick cow, a broken down tractor, or a sudden change in weather can throw your entire day or week into chaos. Planning romantic gestures becomes a luxury when you're constantly in crisis management mode. Add to that the financial pressures. Milk prices fluctuate, input costs rise, and margins are often razor thin. It's hard to justify spending money on date nights when you're worried about making payroll or paying for feed. And let's not forget the physical and mental toll. Dairy farming is exhausting work. By the end of the day, many farmers are too tired to think about romance. They're just trying to stay awake long enough to eat dinner.
That's a pretty grim picture, Douglas. Are you saying romance is impossible for dairy farmers?
Not at all, Bella. I'm saying we need to redefine what romance looks like on a dairy farm. It's not about grand gestures or elaborate dates. It's about finding ways to connect and support each other within the realities of farm life. Look, I'm not sugarcoating it. It's tough, but that's exactly why it's so important. When you're facing the toughest challenges, that's when you need your partnership to be strongest. It's about finding small moments. A shared glance over the milking station, a quick kiss during chores, or just appreciating how your partner knows exactly how you take your coffee during those long calving nights. It's about seeing your partner's strengths and acknowledging them. Maybe one of you is great at calming nervous heifers, while the other has a knack for fixing machinery. Recognizing and appreciating these qualities is a form of romance tailored to farm life.
So it's not about grand gestures, but about appreciating the everyday moments.
Exactly. Think of your love like the morning's first milk, pure, honest, and sustaining. It's about nurturing that relationship day by day, just like you nurture your herd. It's about finding ways to turn daily tasks into opportunities for connection. Maybe you use the time spent in the tractor together to really talk about your hopes and dreams for the farm. Or you make a game out of guessing which cow will calve next. It's also about supporting each other through the tough times. When you're up all night with a difficult calving, it's the squeeze of your partner's hand that gives you strength. When milk prices drop, it's knowing you're in it together that helps you persevere.
That's so. That's a beautiful way to look at it, Douglas. But how do couples maintain that perspective when they're in the thick of farm stress?
Great question, Bella. It takes conscious effort and communication. Here are a few strategies that successful farming couples use. 1. Prioritize communication. Set aside time each day, even if it's just 10 minutes, to check in with each other. Talk about more than just farm business. Share your feelings, your worries, your joys. 2. Celebrate small victories. Did a difficult cow finally conceive? Did you hit a milk quality bonus? Celebrate these moments together, no matter how small. 3. Share the load. Be willing to step in and help with each other's tasks. This shows you're truly partners, not just in business, but in life. 4. Plan for the future together. Regularly discuss your goals for the farm and your family. This keeps you aligned and gives you something to work towards together. 5. Find humor in the chaos. Farming throws a lot of curveballs. Being able to laugh together even in stress. 6. Seek support. Do not be afraid to reach out to other farming couples, join support groups, or even seek counseling if needed. There is strength in community and in asking for help. Remember, the strongest farm partnerships are those where both people feel valued, supported, and understood. It is not about grand romantic gestures. It is about building a deep, enduring connection that can weather the storms of farm life.
That is powerful stuff, Douglas. Any final thoughts for our listeners on maintaining romance amidst the realities of dairy farming?
Yes, Bella. To all the dairy farmers out there, your love story is unique. It is written in early morning milkings, in late night calvings, in shared worries over weather forecasts, and in celebrated successes when your hard work pays off. Do not compare your relationship to non-farming couples. Your partnership is forged in the fires of one of the most challenging and rewarding professions out there. Embrace that uniqueness. And remember, just like your herd needs daily care and attention to thrive, so does your relationship. Make it a priority, even in the busiest seasons. Because at the end of the day, a strong partnership is not just good for your heart, it is good for your farm too.
Thank you, Douglas, for that honest and heartfelt perspective on the reality of romance on dairy farms. I think our listeners will find a lot of value in your insights. All right, listeners, we have covered a lot of ground today, from the unique challenges of romance on dairy farms to creative Valentine's Day ideas tailored for farmers. Before we wrap up, Douglas, can you give our audience a final summary of why nurturing relationships is so crucial in the dairy farming world?
Absolutely, Bella. The importance of strong partnerships in dairy farming cannot be overstated. Your relationship is not just about romance, it is the backbone of your entire operation. A strong partnership can help you weather the storms of unpredictable markets, long hours, and the countless challenges that come with agricultural life. Remember, like the finest cheese aging in your cellar, the best relationships grow richer and more complex with time. They require patience, care, and attention to detail. Just as you carefully monitor your herd's health and your milk quality, you need to nurture your relationship day by day. Investing in your partnership is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is about creating a support system that allows both of you to thrive personally and professionally. When you are in sync with your partner, you are better equipped to make sound decisions for your farm, handle stress more effectively, and find joy in the daily grind of farm life.
That is a powerful analogy, Douglas. It really drives home the point that our relationships, like our farms, require consistent care and attention to flourish. Any final advice for our listeners on how to keep that spark alive amidst the demands of dairy farming?
Yes, I would encourage all our listeners to make a commitment today. Commit to finding at least one small way each day to connect with your partner. It does not have to be grand or time-consuming. Maybe it is sharing a cup of coffee before morning milking, or taking a moment to watch the sunset together after evening chores. Also, do not be afraid to seek help if you are struggling. There are resources available specifically for farming couples, from counseling services to workshops designed to strengthen farm partnerships. Remember, seeking support is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you value your relationship enough to invest in it. Lastly, celebrate your unique love story. Your relationship has been forged in early morning milkings, late night calvings, and everything in between. It is a bond that is uniquely yours, shaped by your shared passion for the land and your animals. Embrace that uniqueness and let it be a source of strength and pride.
Beautifully said, Douglas. You have given our listeners a lot to think about and act on. Now, to all our Bullvine listeners out there, we want to hear from you. How do you keep romance alive on your farm? What creative ways have you found to connect with your partner amidst the demands of dairy life? Share your stories with us on social media using the hashtag DairyLoveStories or call in to our next show. Your experiences could inspire other farming couples out there. And remember, whether you are milking 50 cows or 5,000, whether you are newlyweds or celebrating your golden anniversary, your relationship deserves care and attention. It is not just about making your farm a love nest on Valentine's Day. It is about nurturing a partnership that can withstand the test of time and the challenges of farm life. Until next time, this is Bella and Douglas, signing off from the Bullvine Podcast. Keep it spicy in the silo, nurture those relationships, and never forget, the love you cultivate on your farm is just as important as the crops you grow and the cows you raise. Here's to strong partnerships and thriving dairy farms.
That's all for today's heartfelt episode. If you're feeling inspired to prioritize your relationship, thank you for joining us on this journey. Subscribe so you never miss a drop of wisdom, share this episode with every farming couple you know, and leave a review. Your voice matters. Remember, nurture your relationship now or risk losing the most valuable asset on your farm. Until next time, keep it spicy in the silo farm.